Hello students, welcome to Don Bosco PU College online classes. We are trying our best to make teaching learning experience easy to our students. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to never miss any update.
Good morning students, welcome back. Myself Abdul Wahab, Don Bosco PU College, Chitradurga. In the previous video class, we discussed the one model question, biology model question paper. In that 1 marks, 2 marks, 3 marks we discussed. Now in this class we are going to discuss 5 marks questions. First, describe the structure of an anatropous ovule with the help of a neat label diagram. Okay, here this is the diagram, anatropous ovule diagram. Okay, so this end we are called as a chalazal end, and upper end is called as a micropylar end. Okay, here in at the center, in the inner side, you are going to see the female gametophyte called as a embryo cell. Let us discuss about this one. This anatropous ovule is also called as microsporangium. Okay, when come to the first one, the ovule, the anatropous ovule is a small structure attached to the placenta by means of a stalk called funicle. So the ovule is attached to the placenta with a attaching structure called funicle. The body of ovule fuses with funicle in the region called hilum. Where the ovule is fuses with the funicle, that fusioning region is called hilum. Then each ovule has one or two protective envelope called integument. What the ovules are there? The ovules are externally covered by protective layers called integuments. The integuments encircle the ovule except at the tip where a small opening called micropyle is organized. Where the micropyle region is there, on that region the integument will not able to encircle or envelop. Next, opposite the micropylar end, the chalazal end present, representing the basal part of the ovule. Then the ovule within the integuments is a mass of cells are there called nucellus. The nucellus have abundant reserve food material. It stores the reserve food material. The funicle located in the nucellus is the embryo sac or female gametophyte. Okay, at the center we are going to see the embryo sac. This is about the anatropous ovule or microsporangium. Next question is, sketch a label sectional view of female reproductive system. This is the female reproductive system. You have to draw the diagram and label minimum 10 labelings. Okay, so what the two red ball shaped structures are there, those we are going to call as a ovary. Okay, then next we are move on to the next question is, describe the Hershey-Chase experiment. Okay, so before we are going to explain this experiment, you are going to draw this experimental diagram. Okay, experimental, that is bacteriophage diagram. One is a radioactive detected supernatant, another no radioactive detected supernatant. Both you are going to draw. Next, yes, based on this diagram, we are going to discuss one by one point of this experiment. In this experiment, they grew some viruses on medium that contain radioactive phosphorus and some others on medium containing radioactive sulfur. There are two mediums are there. One is radioactive phosphorus, another is radioactive sulfur. On both the medium, we are going to grow viruses. The viruses grow in presence of radioactive phosphorus containing radioactive DNA but not radioactive protein because DNA contains phosphorus but the protein does not. Similarly, viruses grown on radioactive sulfur contain radioactive protein but not radioactive DNA because the DNA does not contain the sulfur. So here what happens, what we are going to grow the viruses in different two medium. In the radioactive DNA medium, in the radioactive phosphorus medium, here the what the viruses are grown, those viruses contain the radioactive DNA, but there is no any radioactive protein because DNA contains phosphorus already, but protein does not. Similarly, the virus which grown on radioactive sulfur contain the radioactive protein is present, but there is no any radioactive DNA present because the DNA does not contain sulfur. Then the radioactive phages were allowed to attach E. coli bacteria then as the infection proceeded. So these radioactive phages, nothing but the viruses we are going to attach or involved in a bacteria called as E. coli bacteria. The viral coats were removed from the bacteria by agitating them in the blender. The virus particles were separated from the bacteria by spinning them in a centrifuge. So here what happened, the radioactive phages, when we are going to allow the E. coli bacteria, then the viral coats were removed from the bacteria. Okay, then those are separated by centrifugation, by rotation. Then bacteria which were infected with viruses that had radioactive DNA were radioactive, indicating that DNA was the material that passed from virus to the bacteria. One thing is clear, bacteria which is infected with virus A had DNA radioactive, that indicate the DNA was the material that is passed from the virus to the bacteria, inherited. The bacteria that were infected viruses that had radioactive proteins were not radioactive. This indicates the protein did not enter the bacteria from the viruses. Okay. Finally, the DNA, therefore, genetic material that is passed from virus to bacteria. Okay, in this is the Hershey and Chase experiment. This experiment explains to prove how the DNA is become genetic material. Next question. For hereditary disease, thus gene therapy is considered as the corrective therapy. Justify by explaining gene therapy for adenosine deaminase ADA deficiency. Yes. First of all, we are going to know the gene therapy, which means collection of methods that allow correction of genes defect that has been diagnosed in a child or embryo. Nothing but it is a method to correct the defected gene in the embryo condition or child condition. In some children's ADA, adenosine deaminase deficiency can be cured by bone marrow transplantation. That bone marrow present in the long bones. However, in other it can be treated by enzyme replacement therapy, in which functional ADA is given to the patient by injection, but in both the approaches the patients are not completely cured. So in the one thing is in children's by bone marrow transplantation and also enzyme replacement. In both in these two methods we are going to you are going to try to cure, but completely will not able to cure. Genetically engineered T lymphocyte fusion is mainly a temporary cure, as the T lymphocytes are not immortal. So genetically engineered T lymphocyte, T thymus lymphocyte, when we are going to use, those are temporarily cured when that T lymphocytes are become immortal, but here not immortal. If the ADA gene is introduced at early embryonic stages, could be permanent cure. The permanent cure nothing but the gene, the ADA responsible gene is introduced at an embryonic gene. In that condition, we are going to see the permanent cure. Mention the causes and features of Down syndrome. Okay, causes and features of Down syndrome. Failure of segregation of chromosome during the cell division results in the formation of gametes with one more chromosome. What happens? There is segregation of chromosome, that is separation of chromosome during the cell division. During cell division, the separation of chromosome will be failed. That fail result in the formation of gamete with one chromosome. That means nothing but the 45 autosomes and XX. There is two sex chromosomes in the females. Here what happens? The chromosomes will not separate. Here the sex body chromosomes becomes more. Instead of 44, it becomes 45. The males also 45. Then the features or symptoms are short stature. Body height is very short. Obese body, dumpy body, webbed neck. Neck become very short. Short, thick limbs. That is for hands and legs are very short with a wide gap between first and the second. Large round face. Flat nose, slant eyes with epicanthic, folded. So eyes are very slant and also folded in nature. Protruded tongue, that means tongue always comes forward. Continuous salivation, they are able to release the saliva. Mental retardation and congenital heart disease. By birth itself, the heart defects we are going to see. Next, name the population interaction involved in the following examples. Okay, just we are going to name the, just we are going to give the name. Animals eating on plants, predation. Okay, predation is the best example, nothing but the predation. Visiting flamingos and resident fishes of a lake. This is nothing but the interference competition. Interference competition. Human liver fluke and snail, parasite. Okay, parasite, because the liver fluke able to causes the snail. Orchid growing on a mango tree, commensalism. Okay, commensalism. Flower and its pollinating insect, mutualism, mutually benefited. Okay, so this is about the interaction, animal interactions. Next, part D, section second. Here we are going to write the 3 questions among the 5. Then explain incomplete dominance with suitable example. Incomplete dominance. So it is a phenomenon where the dominant gene or allele in heterozygous condition do not express its complete dominance. When two homozygous plants we are going to cross in the F1 generation, the heterozygous condition plant will be formed that will not able to express whether the dominant or recessive of the parent. It will be express the intermediate character. Okay. The phenomenon was observed by Correns while working with the plant called Mirabilis jalapa, commonly called as a 4 o'clock plant. It is also occur in Antirrhinium majus, snapdragon or dog plant we call. The normal flower color in this plant is red and determined by the dominant gene or, and mutation of this gene results in white color due to the recessive condition of the gene small r. Small r. See here what happens, the in these flowers, one flower plant is red color, another flower plant is white color. In F1 generation either red or white, but red is dominant, red color may appear, but in the implement dominance neither be red nor be white. There is a formation of pink, one more neutral. When Correns crossed a red flowered plant with a white flowered plant, all plants obtained in F1 generation was pink flower. See, it is a pink flower, it is heterozygous condition. When the pink flowered plants of F1 generation were that means self-crossed, self-pollinated, the plants obtained in the F2 generation, in next generation, were 25% of red flower, 50% of pink flower, and 25% of white flower. Finally, the phenotypic and genotypic ratio is same 1:T:1. See here the crossing red flower and white flower. Red flowers are dominant and white flowers are recessive. In the F1 generation, what happens in generally the red flower plants may form, but instead of red they are form pink color. The pink color heterozygous flower plants are self-pollinated. Then we are going to get a F2 generation. One is red, remaining two are the pink, and one is recessive one. The phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio is both are same. Okay. Next, 34. In our DNA technology, unless the desired DNA is separated and isolated, it cannot be introduced into vector. How separation is achieved using gel electrophoresis? There is a gel electrophoresis process we are going to write here. In the gel electrophoresis, first the agarose gel is cast of thin slab with number of sample wells. After the wells of gels are loaded with sample DNA fragments, an electric field is applied across the gel. So we are going to sample wells are there here. Sample wells we are going to introduce agarose gel. Then agarose gel when we are going to load it, then we are going to load it also separate to the sample of DNA fragments. An electric field is applied also. The negative charged DNA molecules move in the direction of anode through the gel as separate individual bands of the DNA based on their size. What happens when we apply the electric field? The negative charged molecules are moved towards the anode and positive move towards the cathode. And such separated bands of DNA based on their size, they are able to separate. Smaller DNA molecule travel further than the larger ones. The distance of band moves into the gel depends on their mass of its macromolecules and pore size of the gel. The pores in the gel act to sieve the molecule. So, based on the size and based on the negative and positive charge, the DNA fragments are able to separate it. After gel electrophoresis, the DNA molecule must be visualized directly by including ethidium bromide in the agarose gel. After the gel electrophoresis process, we are going to visualize the DNA molecule by adding the ethidium bromide in the agarose gel. This ethidium bromide, it is a dye, binds to the double-stranded DNA by interacting with the base pairs and emits the fluorescence when exposed to the UV rays. What the ethidium bromide is there when we are applying, that is a dye binds the double-stranded DNA and by interacting with base pairs which emits the fluorescence. When we are going to process the UV rays, those fluorescence will be appear. The separated DNA bands appear orange color. The separated bands of DNA are cut out from the agarose gel and extracted from the gel piece. This process is known as a elution. Finally, the DNA fragments purified and used in constructing rDNA by joining them with cloning vectors. Okay, this is the steps of gel electrophoresis. Then 35th question. Explain the stages of life cycle of Plasmodium vivax. That is a malarial parasite. When Plasmodium vivax enters into the human body as a sporozoite stage, it is an infectious stage. Through the bite of infected female Anopheles mosquito, then the parasite initially multiply within the liver cells and then attack the RBC cells. and resulting in the rupture. The rupture RBCs are associated with the release of toxic substance called hemozymes. When the sporozoite enter into the healthy human body through the biting process of female Anopheles mosquito, the sporozoite enter into the first attacks the liver cells, then enter into the RBC cells. Then the RBC cells are able to release the one toxic substance called hemozyme, which is responsible for the chill and high fever recurring every 3 or 4 days. That is the main symptom of the malaria disease. When a female Anopheles mosquito bites an infected person, these parasites enter the mosquito's body and undergo further development. The parasite multiply within them to form sporozoites that are stored in their salivary gland. When if any other female Anopheles mosquito bites the infected person, these parasite, that is specially the stage called as a gametocytes. The gametocytes are enter into the mosquito body. In the mosquito body, these gametocytes undergo sexual reproduction. In the human body, the Plasmodium vivax perform the asexual reproduction. In the mosquito body, it performs the sexual reproduction. Then, after sexual reproduction, the parasite produces the sporozoites. Those are stored in the salivary glands. When these mosquito bite a man, the sporozoites are introduced into the new person's body, and the cycle will be repeats again. Okay, here the human being in the human body, this malarial parasite completes the asexual life cycle, and the female Anopheles mosquito completes the sexual life cycle. The female Anopheles mosquito is called as a vector or transmitting agent. Then describe the structure of nucleosome with the help of neat label diagram. This is the structure of nucleosome model. Nucleosome model. Okay. DNA molecule able to wrap, histone molecules are there, protein molecules are there. Yes. Let us discuss one by one nucleosome model. Negatively charged DNA is wrapped around the positively charged histone atomer to form a structure called nucleosome. The DNA which having a negative charge is wrapped around the positive charged histone atomer protein molecule, finally form a one body on structure called as a nucleosome. A nucleosome contains 200 base pairs of DNA helix. The nucleosome constitute repeating units of a structure. The nucleus called chromatin and appears as a bead on string structure. This structure in chromatin is packed to form chromatin fibers that are further coiled and condensed at the metaphase stage of cell division to form the chromosome. So these beads on string like structure become chromatin. The chromatin is further condensed to form a chromosome during the metaphase of the cell division. The packaging of chromatin at higher level requires additional set of proteins that collectively are referred to as a non-histone chromosomal protein, NHC proteins. Then, okay, this is about the structure of nucleosome model. Next, mention the sources and functions of each of the following. Penicillin, Penicillium notatum, it is an antibiotic. Streptokinase, it is a enzyme extracted from the microbe species called as a Streptococcus, used as a clot buster or fibrinolytic agent. Cyclosporin A Trichoderma polysporum, a fungus we are going to extract, it is an immunosuppressant agent. Statins, Monoscus purpureus, it is used as a cholesterol lowering agent. Lactic acid from a bacteria called Lab or Lactobacillus lactic acid bacteria is helpful for curdling of milk as an organic acid. So these are the 5 marks question. In this video class, we discussed the 3 model question paper. Okay, thank you.